This property that is coming across your screen right now cost me $0 to purchase, and it cash flows $285 every single month. And I've done that with single family real estate about 165 times. I have been able to create financial freedom, make extra money for breathing room on the side through cash flow, gain millions of dollars in my net worth, and save hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxes, all through this simple little method called the BRRRR Method. I'm going to talk about what it is, how to actually pull it off, common mistakes to avoid, actual numbers, and how to get started with some bonus tips. The BRRRR Method stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and systemize. For the buy step, you find a distressed property that you can purchase at a discount. For the rehab step, you renovate the property and make it livable. For the rent step, you put in a quality tenant that pays you rent every single month. For the refinance step, you do a cash out refinance based on the new repaired value of the property you bought, and you take that money and you pay back who you borrowed the money from to buy the property. And for the systemize step, you create systems around each of the previous 4 steps so that then you can repeat it and scale it and have it create wealth for you. This isn't just about owning rental properties. This is about building a wealth producing machine that will create wealth for you while you sleep. All right, let's break down a real BRRRR example. When you're looking for properties to buy for the BRRRR method, you must look for discounted properties. And in today's real estate environment, and pretty much any real estate environment, you're not going to find discounted properties unless they're distressed. So you need to focus on ways to find distressed properties. I bought this property over here for $110,000. It smelled like cat pee, needed a lot of work, but it was in a great neighborhood. You look for equity on the initial purchase. I used a private money lender to buy the property, so they funded the entire purchase in cash. The next step is the rehab step. I spent about $30,000 on this rehab, nothing major, but new floors, some paint, some new plumbing, and a few different things to make this pop and attract the best type of tenant. Here you want to make sure not to over rehab. Now, you do need to make it nice. I shoot for 10% nicer than the competition. So when you're looking to buy the property, you're going to look around and see what other properties in the area sold for. Look at the conditions and look at the finishes of those properties. I like to make my rentals about 10% nicer than the other rentals in the area, but you don't want to overdo it. This is a rental property. You don't need gold-plated finishes. You don't need marble quartz countertops. You just need nice, solid surfaces that will attract a good tenant and that will wear well. The next step is the rent step. It's getting the property rented to a really good tenant. Now, a lot of people are afraid of having tenant and managing tenants, and that's understandable, but a lot of that fear can go away and a lot of the potential future issues can go away if you take your time approving a really good tenant. Just because they can fog a mirror and make 3 times gross income of what the rent is does not mean you automatically approve them. We call tenants previous and current landlords. We look at their bank statements. Of course, we look at their income, their credit score, and their eviction and criminal history. We have a great conversation with them, explain the expectations, and if they check the boxes that we need them to check, then we move them in. And in doing that, you make sure that you're getting a really quality tenant or giving yourself the highest probability of having a quality tenant that won't cause you headaches in the future. Our tenants stay an average of 5 years. That's because we are very strict on the initial approval. Once they're in, they tend to stay because we got a good fit for them and for us, and we take care of them. We got this property rented for $14.95 a month. All right, on to the refinance step. This is where it gets fun. This is when you take your property to a small local bank or a national DSCR lender, which stands for debt service coverage ratio. These lending institutions will do an appraisal and they will base a majority, if not all of their approval process on the specific property and if it covers the debt that they're going to put on the property. They won't always look super hard at you and your personal situation. So this is a huge advantage here. They're not looking at your personal debt to income ratio. They're looking at the property. This property appraised for $185,000. We did a 75% cash out refinance. That left me $138,000, and my initial investment into this deal with the purchase, the rehab, and the private lender payment ended up being about $140,000. So I was about $2,000 short, which happens every once in a while, but now I own a $185,000 house that's got $45,000 worth of equity that I had to pay $2,000 for. I will take that every single day of the week. The return on that $2,000 investment is insane. Now the property cash flows $200 to $300 almost every single month. It goes up in value over time. The tenant is paying down the mortgage, and I'm getting tax benefits that bleed over to my other active income and allow me to pay less money to the government. While this is one property that I went through pretty quickly, I want you to know that if you do this and if you are willing to take action, the first one will be messy, the second one a little bit less messy, and it will get easier as you go through this process, just like anything else. If you're a golfer, I promise you the first time you golfed versus the last time you golfed, you got better. Like anything else, this just takes practice and repetition, but the cool thing about this is you're practicing and you're creating repetition that's going to build wealth for you, not just making you a 30 handicap down to a 20 handicap. And the final step is to systemize. So going over each step every time you repeat this process and getting a little bit better. Tightening up the purchase side, the buy side. Tightening up the rehab and getting a little more efficient with the rehab. Making sure you're quickly approving a good tenant and going to the best financial institution for the refinance. You just take each of those first 4 steps and you systemize it through actually practicing and actually executing the deal, and you will get better, you will get more efficient, and you will be able to do more deals in less time, which will end up adding more net worth to you. This is how you go from 1 deal to 10. And once you get to that 10, you're really able to relax a little bit. 1 vacancy when you own 10 properties is not a big deal. 1 vacancy when you own 1 rental property can be a big deal. So the sooner you can get to 10, the better. And I know that was a quick, oversimplified explanation. There are, of course, nuances in every single step, from the buy to the rehab to the rent to the refinance, but I just want you to get the general concepts. Now, I have countless videos on this channel where I go over the nuances of finding a private lender, or the nuances of lead sources to get leads, or how to actually approve a tenant, or even how to get the best long-term financing. This is a generalized video. Poke around on this channel and look for yourself. And definitely check out the description of this video for a brand new deal that I'm offering. It's called Relaunch. It is for brand new real estate investors. It's everything that I wish that I had when I started investing, and it goes against the grain of what you're hearing on social media and the fake gurus in this space. I'm sick and tired of somebody thinking they can shove a one-size-fits-all plan down your throat, charging you 20 grand for a program that they created on ChatGPT, and thinking they're experts because they did it 5 times. That is not what's going on here. Relaunch costs less every single month than YouTube TV, yet it provides everything you need to start and scale. And I'm even offering a 7-day free trial for you to poke around and see what you think yourself. So make sure to go to the description or just go to joinrelaunch.com, poke around and see for yourself how just spending a couple bucks a day can completely change your life. If you're not into that kind of thing, that is fine. Just make sure to poke around my YouTube channel and look for free videos here. Like, subscribe if you haven't. See you on the next one.